Before we dive deep into the video, let's look into the story of Rajini. Rajini is an aspirant. So here you can see Rajini, this guy. So he goes to the exam hall, UPSC prelims, and then he has no idea about the number of questions which are asked from each subject, each topic, just goes and sits for the examination. He looks at the question paper, realizes he knows nothing, and then ends up not clearing the examination. Whereas here's another aspirant, Rajini, who has idea of everything, as in the number of questions asked from each subject, the number of topics which are required for the examination, the themes which are repeated, those things he knows. So he goes to the examination, he is able to bubble the answers, correct answers in prelims. He is also able to write very good answers in mains. So that is the story of another aspirant, which is Rajni. Now, no prizes for guessing which aspirant you have to be. You have to be, of course, this one to be able to clear the examination with flying colors. Hello and welcome to UPSC Warriors, your one-stop solution for general studies in English medium. So in this video, I'll help you with the sources which are required for history. I'll also help you in understanding how to use those sources. And finally, I'll also give you a bonus tip on making notes. So you'll have to wait till the end. So watch the entire video, which is going to be very beneficial for you. Now, before moving into anything else, let's first look at the trend. We have to first understand how many questions are asked from history and art and culture together. Now, for the year 2024, if we see, there were around 12 questions asked. Okay, so remember, this is both art and culture and history. Now, 4 questions were from ancient India, 4 from medieval India, and 4 from modern history. Okay, so 12 questions were asked. If you look at 2023, there were 13 questions which were asked. And then as we move on, 2022, there were 16, 21 in 2021, and 20 in 2020, right? So now if we look at, so we have the data from 2013 to 2024 here. Now if we see, there's an average of 17 questions which are asked in prelims, okay, for history. Now, we know we have to understand one thing, that this includes everything, right? So that is art and culture, ancient, medieval, modern history, and modern history also has post-independence India. So this is for prelims. Now, it's a huge syllabus if you look at the syllabus. And we have to first understand a few things before we move into the syllabus, before we move into the sources. So the first thing to understand is history here in UPSC comprises of ancient, medieval. There's also this art and culture part which is asked from this ancient and medieval, and also from contemporary dances, folk forms and festivals and all that. And there's modern history. We have post-independence India, which is also a part of modern India, but then is mostly asked in mains, but sometimes there are questions in prelims as well. There's also world history, which is a part of the main syllabus, not the prelims syllabus. So all this comprises of history in the UPSC CSE examination. Now, let's look at ancient, medieval and art and culture first, right? Because that comes in the syllabus first, so that's the one we are picking first. So now the source for ancient history that I would suggest you to study is Tamil Nadu Board's 11th class history. This is the cover of that book. This is the one you have to read, okay? So there's a lot of debate on old NCERT, new NCERT, this NCERT, that NCERT, this standard book, that. So please avoid all of that. Just go for this book for ancient history. For medieval also, this same book will suffice because it has both ancient and medieval history in it. You don't have to look for any other source for ancient and medieval. Then there's art and culture, which is also a part of ancient and medieval, and also, like I said, contemporary dances and folk music and paintings and all that is asked. So for that, you have to go through this NCERT, that is an Introduction to Indian Art, which is a textbook in fine arts for 11th standard. So this you have to study. This is for art and culture, and also ancient and medieval that I've said, one, and then this is the second book. Okay, so these are the two books you have to study. Now, what's there in the syllabus that you have to understand? Now, if we look at the prelim syllabus, it's not very elaborate, but we have a very good mains syllabus. It details everything. So, under art and culture, because that's the only thing which is asked in mains, by the way, there's no ancient or medieval in mains. So, under art and culture, we have salient aspects of art forms, literature, architecture from ancient to modern. Okay. So, now if you look at this, these are basically themes. Art forms, it's a theme. Literature is a theme. Architecture is a theme. So, we have to know the salient aspects of these themes. And then you have to understand that for all this that's written here, the sources are the ones that I have showed you earlier. Now, how to use the sources? I've told you the sources, you know the books now, you can purchase those books, or the Tamil Nadu board book is available online also for free, and also the NCERT that's available for download for free online. Now, how to use all of this? First, I would suggest step one is read the Tamil Nadu board book. First, you'll read that book. You have an idea of everything that's there. It almost covers everything that comes under ancient and medieval, and also a lot of art and culture information is provided there. So that will be covered when you read this book. Second step, go to the previous year's questions. You have to solve the previous year questions, but then don't feel sad if you're not able to solve those questions, because the motive here is not to solve the questions, but to learn from those questions. When you look at a question, you will either be able to answer that or you'll not be able to answer that. If you're able to answer that, fine. If you're not able to answer that, there could be two reasons. The first thing, you read that, but you've forgotten that. In that case, you have to revise. The second reason could be you've not read it. It was not there in the source that you had read. So in that case, what you'll have to do is you'll have to learn from the previous year question. How? You'll pick a question. You'll see if you can answer that correctly. If you're not able to answer that, go Google that topic. Suppose the topic is on maybe Mauryan art. You don't know about that. Maybe you've not read about that in the source that you were reading. So just Google that. You'll find some information about it. So just note down those factual information. Okay, all that factual information that you'll find there, note it down. Where? In the book itself. And then you will have some extra information about that topic. Now, the third step is you'll read the Fine Arts NCERT. Now, a lot of information that you'll find here has already been mentioned in the Tamil Nadu book. You'll see a lot of things are repeating. In a way, you're also revising, right? So then, once you're done with this Fine Arts NCERT, then you'll go for mock tests, right? So, mock tests will help you, again, fill those gaps of information that you might have, okay? Because again, these mocks are prepared from all the books which are prescribed to read for these topics. So, you will be able to fill those gaps if you have any in your knowledge. And then also, suppose the same thing applies here also, like the previous year questions, right? The same thing applies here also. You will take a look at the question, you'll either be able to solve it, not able to solve it. I told you why you'll not be able to solve it. Two reasons: either you've not revised well, not studied well, or you don't know about it and you've not read it anywhere else. If that's the question, if that's the thing that you've not read it anywhere, then what you have to do is you have to go to the solution. So those detailed solutions are provided. Go there, read it properly, understand, and if required, make notes from there as well. Again, like I said, I'll tell you in the end how to make notes. So that's in the end part. So this is how you'll use the sources for art and culture and ancient and medieval. Now we'll move to modern history and post-independence India. Now here also, there are a lot of sources, but then I would suggest you go through this book. That's the 12th class Tamil Nadu board history. This is how the cover page looks like. And then there's another book which is Spectrum. Just two books for modern history and also post-independence India. Okay, so both these books, this one, it has a part of post-independence India in the end, and also this book, it has post-independence India covered in it. Now, the main syllabus, what's written there? So the first thing is mid 18th century to present, significant events, personalities and issues. Now these are again themes. Again, look at the second point, that's freedom struggle, various stages, important contributors from different parts of the country. This is another theme. And post-independence India theme is post-independence, consolidation and reorganization within the country. So these are the 3 points and these are the themes under which questions are asked in mains. Now, let's look at the fact, how would you be using these 2 books? First step is go through the Tamil Nadu board book. Second is again previous year questions. I told you how to use the previous year questions. Don't focus on solving, but learning from those previous year questions. Then the book Spectrum. This is the one you have to read afterwards, because when you've read the Tamil Nadu board book, you would have covered a lot of things already. So Spectrum would be very easy for you to cover after this, because you already have an outline of what's there in modern India, right? And then you have the mock test, through which again you will be filling the gaps in your knowledge. So this is how you'll use the sources of modern India. Then world history. Now world history, this is a part of mains only. Questions are not asked in prelims. So for this again, this 12th class book from Tamil Nadu board, that's enough for you to cover. Okay, not many questions are also asked in mains from world history. Generally 1, 2 or at max 3 questions might be asked. So this book suffices, it has everything. Let's look at the syllabus. What does it say? Okay, I'm very sorry about the syllabus. Okay, so this is the syllabus. So the syllabus is 18th century events. Okay, for example, Industrial Revolution, World Wars, redrawn boundaries, colonization, decolonization. So these are the themes under which you have to prepare world history. Now the second thing is political philosophies. Example, communism, capitalism, socialism and their effect on society. So these are the themes under which you have to study world history. Again, like I said, not many questions are asked. So this book is enough to prepare world history from. How to use the resources? Again, Tamil Nadu board book you would be reading, then previous year's questions and then mock tests. So that's all for world history. Now, before we move on to how to make notes, I'll tell you one thing. So we were talking about prelims and mains, these sources, right? So if you are preparing for prelims, and again remember, you don't have to study the same source again and again for prelims and mains in a different way. It's all integrated. So when you'll be reading ancient India, you'll be reading for both prelims and mains. So when you're reading for prelims, so then what you have to do is you have to only underline or highlight it in the book. You find some other information, suppose in the previous year questions or in the mock tests, then add that information in the book itself. So I'm telling you how to make notes here. Okay, so add that information in the book itself. So you have everything at one place. So when you revise, it's going to be very easy for you. This is for prelims. Now, moving on to mains. The thing is, when you read for mains, like I showed you the syllabus, it's mainly themes. And the content in your book is not organized as themes. So what you have to do is, when you're reading these sources, after you've read the sources, you'll go through the previous year questions, like I said. So when you look at the previous year questions, you'll be able to figure out some themes. Now those themes are the ones around which you have to make your notes for mains. You will have to write your notes for mains. Okay, that's essential. You cannot just mark it like in prelims in the book itself. Now, how are the notes going to be? These notes have to be one-pager notes, 1 page for each theme. You don't have to write very elaborate notes. You just have to take those pointers and then write, or maybe just use keywords so that you can give a glance and then recall everything. That's how you make notes for mains. Okay, 1-pager notes for every theme. Those themes, again, syllabus is there. You find the themes there. You'll go through the previous year question papers. You'll get the themes there. And then once you have all those notes, you'll start writing mock tests. So basically answer writing that you'll be doing. So when you write those mock tests, then you'll see most of the themes are the themes that you've already prepared on. But you might find some themes which you've not prepared on, or maybe you've not read about that topic in any standard source that you've studied. So for that, again, go to the detailed solution, the synopsis of the answer that's given, and make notes, very short notes, crisp notes, only of the factual information that's provided, and then you'll be ready with the theme. So that's how you prepare notes for both prelims and mains. It has to be theme wise in mains, and for prelims it has to be in the book itself, because these books, the NCERT, the Spectrum, so these books are already in the form of notes, as in you don't really have to make notes. And again, when do you have to make notes is very essential. People, what they do is when they read the book, they start making notes out of that, and they end up with bulky notes because they've replicated the book itself in their notes. You don't have to do that. So when you're reading it for the first time, don't make any notes, just read it. Then once you're done with the reading, you'll go through the question papers, previous year questions and all that. So you'll at least know after that what's important. Then when you read it, then you should start underlining or highlighting. That's in the second or the third reading that you should be doing. And then you should make those one-pager notes for the themes. That's again later on, after you're done with the highlighting part. The next time you read it, that's when you make those one-pager notes. So that's how you prepare the notes for your prelims and mains, at least in terms of history. That is what you should be doing. So we've covered everything. We've seen the trend. We've looked at the sources. We've also seen the parts which history has in the UPSC syllabus. We've also seen how to use the sources, and now I've also told you how to make notes from those sources. So that was all in this video, and I hope you're watching the videos that we put out on UPSC Warriors by Unacademy, and those videos are helpful to you. And I think this video is also going to be very beneficial for you. Also, if you want, there's some specific topic on which you want me or our team to make videos on, then please write it in the comments. We'll make videos on that. So that's all. Keep watching the videos on UPSC Warriors. Thank you.